You made ambition look effortless, like breathing in and breathing out. I was still second guessing every word, every dream, every route. You talked about the world beyond us, like it was waiting at the train station. I was scared to leave my comfort zone, scared of every expectation. You kept telling me I mattered, like it wasn't up for debate. But I was standing in the mirror, finding reasons to hesitate. You're a painting in a gallery, I'm fingerprints on the glass, close enough to see the details, never meant to last. And I know that's not what you believed, but it's what I couldn't outrun. I was always on the wrong side of beautiful, trying to love someone like you. The rain was falling on the shelter at the bus stop after dark. Cars were drawing blurry lines of light, like cracks across my heart. You asked me if I still loved you, and I laughed through tears instead, because love was never missing. It was everything inside my head. You stood there waiting for an answer, one that I could never make sound right. How do you tell your favorite person that you're losing to yourself tonight? You're a painting in a gallery, I'm fingerprints on the glass, close enough to see the details, never meant to last. And I know that's not what you believed, but it's what I couldn't outrun. I was always on the wrong side of beautiful, trying to love someone like you. Maybe if my heart were quieted, maybe if I trusted what you saw, we'd be driving through next summer instead of becoming a scar. You were never asking for perfection, you only asked me to stay. But fear can make a locked door out of an open doorway. You're a painting in a gallery, I'm fingerprints on the glass, close enough to see the details, never meant to last. And I know that's not what you believed, but it's what I couldn't outrun. I was always on the wrong side of beautiful, trying to love someone like you. Now every rainy evening finds me looking for your face in passing lights, still wondering how I lost the boy who loved me through all my fights. You always knew the right words first, like every sentence had a home. I kept crossing out my feelings in notebooks nobody would ever know. You tell stories that filled the room, everyone hanging on every line, and I'd sit there pulling at my sleeves, wondering how you ever noticed mine. You said I was enough for you, but I never learned how to believe it. When all I saw was everything you were and everything I wasn't. You're a masterpiece, hanging in the sunlight. I'm a blank page, scared of the pen. Every time you looked at me like I was beautiful, I couldn't understand. You saw a future written clearly. I saw mistakes I hadn't made, so I walked away before my doubts could stain everything we made. At 2 a.m. your message lit my room, a little blue glow in the dark. Can we talk was all it said, but I already knew where this would start. I stared at my reflection, the girl behind tired eyes, trying to find the version of me who deserved a love like yours tonight. My thumb hovered over the screen while my heart begged me to stay. But fear has a way of sounding wise when it wants love to go away. You're a masterpiece, hanging in the sunlight. I'm a blank page, scared of the pen. Every time you looked at me like I was beautiful, I couldn't understand. You saw a future written clearly. I saw mistakes I hadn't made, so I walked away before my doubts could stain everything we made. Maybe the saddest thing about us is nothing was broken at all. You kept reaching out your hand and I kept waiting for the fall. You never made me feel smaller. There was a war inside my head, and I lost it on a quiet night with your last message left unread. You're a masterpiece, hanging in the sunlight. I'm a blank page, scared of the pen. Every time you looked at me like I was beautiful, I couldn't understand. You saw a future written clearly. I saw mistakes I hadn't made, so I walked away before my doubts could stain everything we made. Now your name still lights my screen sometimes, though neither of us says a thing. And I keep wondering what our story was, the one I was too afraid to write in ink. You always seem so certain, like the world answered when you called. I was changing my mind every morning, trying not to trip when I walked. You had stories from places I'd never been, names of people I'd never meet. I laughed and acted like I fit in while feeling smaller with every heartbeat. You never made me feel beneath you. That was something I did alone, building little walls from my insecurities, then calling them home. You were taller than me in every way that mattered. Not your height, but how you stood. like you knew exactly who you were while I was trying to be good. And I loved you more than anyone, that's the part that hurts the most. I left while you were holding on and became the thing I feared I'd be, a ghost. The school park bench was cold that day, leaves gathering around our shoes. You kept asking if I'd tell the truth, I kept searching for words to use. How do you explain a feeling that doesn't make any sense? How do you leave somebody kind for a reason that only lives in your head? You said I don't need perfect, I still hear it sometimes at night, but I was too busy comparing us to see what was right in front of my eyes. You were taller than me in every way that mattered. Not your height, but how you stood, like you knew exactly who you were while I was trying to be good. And I loved you more than anyone, that's the part that hurts the most. I left while you were holding on and became the thing I feared I'd be, a ghost. 17 is such a lonely age, old enough to fall this hard, young enough to ruin something beautiful just because you're scared of your own heart. I thought leaving would protect us, keep you safe from all my flaws, but all it did was leave two people wondering what we lost. You were taller than me in every way that mattered. Not your height, but how you stood, like you knew exactly who you were while I was trying to be good. And I loved you more than anyone, that's the part that hurts the most. I left while you were holding on and became the thing I feared I'd be, a ghost. Now the bench is empty after school, the leaves have all been blown away, but I still sit there in my memory, watching you beg me to stay. You carried summer in your voice, even in the middle of December. You made ordinary afternoons feel like something worth remembering. I was the girl with storm clouds folded deep inside a favorite coat, smiling through conversations while sinking like a stone afloat. You always looked at me so gently, like there was nothing left to hide. But I spent every second wondering what happened when you looked inside. You were bigger than my fears, until my fears became bigger than you. And that's the part I'll never forgive myself for. No matter what I do, you're the sky full of sunlight, I'm the shadow underneath, trying to stand beside you brightness, while disappearing piece by piece. At 2 a.m. your message found me, lighting up the dark blue room. You wrote, I miss the way you laugh, and my chest completely broke in two. I read it with my fingers shaking, hovering over what to say. 100 different ways to stay with you, and somehow I chose to walk away. Because the closer that you held me, the louder my doubts became. Like love was some borrowed sweater I wasn't supposed to claim. You were bigger than my fears, until my fears became bigger than you. And that's the part I'll never forgive myself for. No matter what I do, you're the sky full of sunlight, I'm the shadow underneath, trying to stand beside your brightness, while disappearing piece by piece. 17 feels like standing in a doorway, too young to know what's right, old enough to lose something beautiful, and think you're saving both your lives. Maybe I wasn't protecting you, maybe I was just afraid that if I stayed long enough, you'd see every crack I couldn't erase. You were bigger than my fears, until my fears became bigger than you. And that's the part I'll never forgive myself for. No matter what I do, you're the sky full of sunlight, I'm the shadow underneath, trying to stand beside your brightness, while disappearing piece by piece. Now every summer evening hurts a little, when the golden light hits the street, because it reminds me of the boy who loved me more than I could believe. You always wore confidence lightly, like it never cost a thing. I wore mine like borrowed clothing, never sure if it would fit me. You talked about the years ahead, like they were waiting at your door. I was still trying to heal from things I never told you about before. You look at me like I was special, like you couldn't see the cracks. But I spent every night wondering when you'd finally take it back. You're gold in the sunlight, I'm rust beneath the pain. No matter how much you love me, I couldn't become who you saw that way. So I let go of your hand slowly, even when it broke my heart in two. Because every beautiful thing you gave me made me feel less deserving of you. The rain was falling hard that evening at the bus stop near the school. Cars blurred into little rivers, everything looked sad and blue. You asked me if I still loved you, I almost laughed through the tears, 'cause loving you was never never the problem, it was fighting all my fears. I wanted to believe your promises, wanted to trust what you could see. But the voice inside my head was louder than anything you'd say to me. You gold in the sunlight, I'm rust beneath the pain. No matter how much you love me, I couldn't become who you saw that way. So I let go of your hand slowly, even when it broke my heart in two. Because every beautiful thing you gave me made me feel less deserving of you. Maybe someday I'll be older, maybe someday I'll understand how to stop turning love into a test nobody can pass. Maybe someday I'll forgive myself for the night I chose goodbye, for mistaking self-protection for something wise. You gold in the sunlight, I'm rust beneath the paint. No matter how much you love me, I couldn't become who you saw that way. So I let go of your hand slowly, even when it broke my heart in two. Because every beautiful thing you gave me made me feel less deserving of you. Now the rain still hits my window like it's trying to bring you back, but all that's left is your reflection, fading slowly through the glass. You always seem so far ahead, like you'd already crossed the line. Between being young and knowing who you are, while I was still losing mine. You carried certainty so softly, like it never weighed you down. I carried old heartbreaks in my pockets, dragging them all around town. You'd ask me what I was afraid of, I'd laugh and change the subject fast. How do you explain to someone steady why you're haunted by the past? You're the ocean under moonlight, I'm a river scared to flow. Every time you pull me closer, I found another way to go. And I know you never blamed me for the baggage that I hide, but I couldn't stop imagining the day you'd get tired of trying. We sat inside our favorite cafe, watching headlights paint the rain. You were talking about next autumn, I was counting all the ways that I could disappoint you later, that I could let you down somehow. You were dreaming out loud beside me, I was planning my escape route out. closure, I was already leaving in my dreams. You're the ocean under moonlight, I'm a river scared to flow. Every time you pulled me closer, I found another way to go. And I know you never blame me for the baggage that I hide, but I couldn't stop imagining the day you'd get tired of trying. Maybe fear doesn't arrive like thunder, maybe it comes quietly instead, like a whisper saying leave first before your heart gets left. And I listen when I shouldn't have, I treat it down like it was truth. Now all that's left are empty chairs and memories of you. You're the ocean under moonlight, I'm a river scared to flow. Every time you pull me closer, I found another way to go. And I know you never blame me for the baggage that I hide, but I couldn't stop imagining the day you'd get tired of trying. Now the moon hangs over rooftops like it did that night we met, and I still carry your name around like a promise I couldn't keep yet. You always arrived like good news, like the world leaned in when you spoke. I was the girl rewriting texts, deleting every joke. You had confidence in your footsteps, I had questions in my head. You looked ahead and saw a highway, I looked ahead and saw the edge. And maybe we were standing together, but I was always a few steps behind, trying to become somebody worthy before you changed your mind. You're a king behind palace lights, I'm outside in the pouring rain, watching your windows glow from a distance, calling your name in vain. You held the door wide open, but I couldn't cross the line, 'cause loving you felt like living a dream that was never meant to be mine. We sat on that old park bench, leaves dancing around our feet. You asked me where I'd disappear to, while I stared down at the street. I wanted to tell you everything, how every I love you scared me more. Not because I didn't feel it back, but because I did too much to ignore. You saw a girl worth keeping, I saw a girl you'd outgrow. So I started building exits long before I chose to go. You're a king behind palace lights, I'm outside in the pouring rain, watching your windows glow from a distance, calling your name in vain. You held the door wide open, but I couldn't loving you felt like living a dream that was never meant to be mine. The saddest thing is you were gentle. You never made me feel small. I did that every time I compared myself to the shadow on your wall. And if I ever broke your heart, please know I broke mine too. Walking away wasn't freedom, it was losing you. You're a king behind palace lights. I'm outside in the pouring rain, watching your windows glow from a distance, calling your name in vain. You held the door wide open, but I couldn't cross the line. 'Cause loving you felt like living a dream that was never meant to be mine. Now the bench is empty at sunset. The leaves have all been blown away, but some part of me still lives there. On the day I couldn't stay. You look so natural in photographs, like you belonged in every scene. I always asked you standing back, hoping nobody noticed me. You talked about the life you'd built like it was already underway. I still couldn't answer simple questions about who I'd be someday. You kept a place for me beside you, like there was never any doubt. But every dream you painted for us felt like something I'd blur out. You're the masterpiece on the wall, on the edge they never see. The part that's cut to make the picture fit, the space between what is and could be. And I loved you more than breathing, that's what made it hurt this way. I stepped out of the frame myself before you could ask me to stay. Your front door open to warm light, the kind that makes the house feel safe. You smiled and pulled me closer in while I was already drifting away. You showed me plans upon your laptop, cities glowing on the screen. I nodded like I could imagine it, but none of them included me. Not because you didn't want me there, you always left a seat for two. I just couldn't picture someone like me keeping up with someone like you. You're the masterpiece on the wall, on the edge they never see. The part that's cut to make the picture fit, the space between what is and could be. And I loved you more than breathing, that's what made it hurt this way. I stepped out of the frame myself before you could ask me to stay. Maybe if my heart were quieter, maybe if fear had less control, maybe I'd have let your love reach all the places I kept closed. But 17 can feel like drowning, fading slower than it should. And somewhere there's a version of us that believed love was enough and stayed. You were already moving forward before I learned how to stand still, talking about apartments in the city and all the mountains you would climb. I love listening to your stories, even when they scared me deep inside, because every dream you carried made my own seem small beside. You said we didn't need to be the same to find a way to make it work. But every time I looked at you, I felt the weight of what I wasn't worth. You're a star with your own gravity, pulling whole worlds into view. I'm a satellite with a broken signal, spinning circles around you. And the closer that I got to heaven, the more I feared the fall would be. So I drifted from your orbit first, before you could let go of me. The school bench was still damp from rain when you found me after class. You sat beside me without speaking, waiting for the storm to pass. You always knew when something hurt, even when I hid it well. You asked, why do you keep running? I couldn't find the words to tell that loving you felt like a spotlight on every flaw I tried to hide. Not because you ever judged me, but because I judged myself beside your light. You're a star with your own gravity, pulling whole worlds into view. I'm a satellite with a broken signal, spinning circles around you. And the closer that I got to heaven, the more I feared the fall would be. So I drifted from your orbit first, before you could let go of me. Now I know the cruelest heartbreak isn't betrayal or goodbye. It's watching someone love you fully while you're fighting it inside. You kept reaching for my hand, I kept reaching for escape, mistaking fear for instinct and distance for being safe. You're a star with your own gravity, pulling whole worlds into view. I'm a satellite with a broken signal, spinning circles around you. And the closer that I got to heaven, the more I fear the fall would be. So I drifted from your orbit first, before you could let go of me. Now every clear night pulls me backward to the girl I used to be, still tracing your name through the stars that shine where we were meant to meet. You always talked about the future, like it was waiting just outside. Big apartments, foreign cities, names of places I can't even find. I nodded like I saw it too, like I belonged inside that dream. But I still count coins in my jacket pocket while you're chasing bigger things. I try to make myself feel taller, standing next to everything you are. But every time I looked beside me, you felt closer to the stars. You're the ocean, deep and endless. I'm a river running out of rain. No matter how hard I try to reach you, I keep getting pulled away. I loved you enough to leave first, before you saw how small I've been. 'Cause some hearts break from being lonely. Mine broke trying to fit in. The bus stop roof was leaking water. Street lights blurred across the glass. You asked me why I looked so distant, like I was already in the past. I wanted to tell you the truth, and that loving you felt beautiful and cruel, like borrowing somebody else's life, knowing I had to give it back to you. The rain kept falling all around us, like it knew what I would do. And every drop felt like a countdown to the moment I'd lose you. You're the ocean, deep and endless. I'm a river running out of rain. No matter how hard I try to reach you, I keep getting pulled away. I loved you enough to leave first, before you saw how small I've been. 'Cause some hearts break from being lonely. Mine broke trying to fit in. Maybe in another lifetime I'd meet you with less fear inside. Maybe I'd believe your promises instead of finding places to hide. But 17 feels way too young to carry all this doubt alone. And you deserve a girl who's certain, not someone scared of being known. You're the ocean, deep and endless. I'm a river running out of rain. No matter how hard I try to reach you, I keep getting pulled away. I loved you enough to leave first, before you saw how small I've been. 'Cause some hearts break from being lonely. Mine broke trying to fit in. The bus came and the door slid wide. You stayed standing in the rain outside. And even now, when storms roll in, part of me still runs back to him. You made hard things things sound easy, like courage was just something you had. I practiced conversations in my head, then ruined them when things got bad. You had your whole life mapped out, pinned like stars across the dark. I was still drawing question marks around every piece of my heart. You kept telling me to trust you, like trust was simple as a choice. But doubt it lived inside me longer than I'd ever known your voice. You're the sky, I'm the pavement. No matter how high I dream, I can touch your light for a moment, but gravity pulls on me, and I know you would have stayed. I know you would have fought for us, but I was already falling before I learned how to trust. Your text came through at 2 a.m., a tiny glow beside my bed. Please tell me what's going on. I read those words 100 times instead. The room was silent except my heartbeat and the rain against the glass. I could have told you I was terrified, but I let another chance pass. Some people run from being lonely. I ran from being loved that much, because every good thing felt temporary. Every promise felt too much to touch. You're the sky, I'm the pavement. No matter how high I dream, I can touch your light for a moment, but gravity pulls on me, and I know you would have stayed. I know you would have fought for us, but I was already falling before I learned how to trust. Maybe that's the cruelest part. You never gave me a reason to leave. I built the ending with my own hands, then blamed it on destiny. And now your name still lives inside me, like a song I can't delete, playing through the quiet hours when the house is fast asleep. You're the sky, I'm the pavement. No matter how high I dream, I can touch your light for a moment, but gravity pulls on me, and I know you would have stayed. I know you would have fought for us, but I was already falling before I learned how to trust. So if you ever think about me, know I still replay that night, wondering what would have happened if I'd stayed beneath your sky. You always seem 10 steps ahead, like you already knew your name. While I kept changing mine in secret, trying to outrun the shame. You spoke about your future house, the city lights outside the view. I smiled and painted myself inside it, but somehow it never felt true. You loved me like it was easy, like there was nothing left to prove. But I kept looking at your life and wondering how I fit in the room. but I couldn't stop feeling like luggage in the car beside the empty seat. At your front door the light was on, like it always was for me. You opened it before I knocked and smiled so carefully. You said you haven't been yourself. I almost told you everything about the nights I stayed awake, terrified of what love brings. Because loving you felt beautiful, but beautiful things don't last, I thought. So I started mourning us too early before we'd even been lost. You're the ocean in the summer, I'm a river after drought. Every mile I got closer to you, the more I started fading out. And I know you would have carried me through every storm I couldn't be, but I couldn't stop feeling like luggage in the car beside the empty seat. You never asked me to be perfect, you never asked me to be more. I built a version of your expectations that never existed before. And now I replay that night like a movie I can't turn off, watching myself walk away from love, thinking I was being strong. You're the ocean in the summer, I'm a river after drought. Every mile I got closer to you, the more I started fading out. And I know you would have carried me through every storm I couldn't be, but I couldn't stop feeling like luggage in the car beside the empty seat. Now every passenger side window reflects a girl I barely know, still searching for the courage to believe she was enough all alone. You always look so comfortable inside the life that you were building, like every piece already knew exactly where it should fit in. I was still carrying old boxes filled with things I never said, past mistakes and broken pieces stacked up heavy in my head. You'd ask me what I was thinking, I'd say nothing with a smile, but the truth was I was counting reasons why you wouldn't stay a while. You're a masterpiece in color, on the dust between the frames. No matter how you try to hold me, I kept slipping through your hands. And I hated how I loved you, like a song too good to sing. Every time you called me yours, I felt like I was pretending. Your front door glowed against the darkness the night I came to say goodbye. You opened it with hopeful eyes and nearly changed my mind. You started talking about next year, places we could go together. And I remember thinking softly, I could ruin this forever. Because you saw me as a promise, I saw myself as a warning sign. You looked at me and saw a future, I looked at me and saw goodbye. You're a masterpiece in color, I'm the dust between the frames. No matter how you try to hold me, I kept slipping through pretending. Maybe the saddest thing about fear is how convincing it can sound. It told me leaving was kindness while it burned everything down. And now I keep replaying the way your voice broke near the end, when you asked if this was really what I wanted, and I couldn't answer then. You're a masterpiece in color. I'm the dust between the frames. No matter how you try to hold me, I kept slipping through your hands. And I hated how I loved you, like a song too good to sing. Every time you called me yours, I felt like I was pretending. Now your house is just a memory at the end of a quiet street, and I'm still carrying the dust of us on the soles of my feet. You always sounded like a headline, something people wanted to read. I was all crossed out sentences hidden underneath my sleeves. You had a future full of color, I could see it in your eyes. Mine looked like unfinished sketches scattered under cloudy skies. And when you talked about tomorrow, you always left a place for me. But I could never stop wondering if I was who you wanted me to be. You're a king with 1,000 chapters, I'm a page nobody keeps. You belong in the better story, the one that doesn't lose sleep. So I folded up my heart quietly before you could watch it break, and left your name inside the margins of every choice I couldn't make. The rain was hitting the bus stop roof like a song without an end. You stood beside me soaking wet, still trying to understand. You said, why are you pushing me away? I looked down at my shaking shoes, because saying I love you too much would have sounded like an excuse. The truth was harder than leaving, and leaving nearly killed me then. You saw someone worth fighting for, I saw someone who'd never win. You're a king with 1,000 chapters, I'm a page nobody keeps. You belong in the better story, the one that doesn't lose sleep. So I folded up my heart quietly before you could watch it break, and left your name inside the margins of every choice I could make. Maybe one day I'll stop measuring my worth against the light you gave. Maybe one day I'll forgive myself for turning love into a wave that carried me farther from you, the harder I tried to stay. Funny how the things we treasure most can still scare us away. You're a king with 1,000 chapters. I'm a page nobody keeps. You belong in the better story, the one that doesn't lose sleep. So I folded up my heart quietly before you could watch it break, and left your name inside the margins of every choice I could make. Now every bus that passes by feels like another version of me. The girl who stayed is somewhere out there, living a life I'll never see.